I stand at the edge of my parents' porch, my arms heavy with packages wrapped in shiny paper and neat ribbons, each one chosen with care. The December air bites at my cheeks, carrying the sharp scent of pine and frost, while a thin layer of snow crunches beneath my boots. Hours of traffic, endless red lights, and crowded streets all felt worth it for this single moment. The chance to surprise them, to see joy light up their faces when they opened the gifts I had so carefully picked. The art book Dad had casually mentioned last spring, the soft cashmere scarf Mom admired when we passed the window display in October. Every detail remembered, every gift wrapped with hope. My heart pounds faster as the porch light flickers to life, signaling that someone heard me arrive. The door creaks open, but instead of the warm embrace I expect, it's my mother's figure filling the doorway. She stands there, blocking the entrance like a barrier, her expression unreadable. The smile on my lips falters instantly. "Cassidy," she says, but my name doesn't carry the comfort I've known all my life. Her tone is careful, clipped, almost cold. "This might not be the best year for you to join us." The shopping bag in my left hand slips slightly, and I catch it before it falls. My chest tightens. "What?" My voice comes out small, unsure. Behind her, Damon appears, arms folded tightly across his chest. His eyes meet mine, but there is no warmth there, only a judgment that cuts deep. "This isn't the place for people who only show up when it's convenient," he says, each word sharp like glass. My mouth opens, but no words come out. I glance past them into the house I know so well. The dining table is already set, glistening with the good china, each plate in glass arranged with precision. The Christmas tree sparkles in the corner, covered in the same ornaments I helped hang every single year since I was tall enough to reach the lower branches. For a second, my heart squeezes painfully. "I don't understand," I finally whisper. "We spoke last week. You confirmed my arrival time." Mum lowers her gaze to the welcome mat, as if the snowflakes scattered across it suddenly matter more than her daughter. "Things change, sweetheart," she murmurs. "Just 2 months ago, Dad had called me, his voice heavy with worry about an unexpectedly high property tax bill. I paid it without hesitation, like I had done countless times before. When the county overcharged them, I spent hours on hold fighting to correct it. I have always been there, always stepped up, always given more than I could spare. And yet here I am, left standing in the cold, treated like an outsider." My voice steadies though. My chest aches. "What did I do wrong?" Mom shrugs softly, her movements delicate, almost rehearsed. "You've been distant, wrapped up in your new life, self-centered. Must be nice." Damon cuts in, stepping closer. His voice drips with resentment. "Buying yourself a fancy condo while the rest of us struggle." The accusation hits me harder than the freezing air ever could. I think of the countless overtime projects I accepted, just to cover Damon's son's medical bills last spring. I think of the vacation I cancelled last minute, 3 days I had been longing for, gone because Damon called about yet another crisis. My hands tremble at first, but then something steadier rises inside me. I take a slow breath. Clarity washing over me like ice water. "Okay," I say quietly. Just that single word. Nothing more. Turning on my heel, I walk back toward my car, arms still weighed down by the very gifts I had carried here with excitement. My steps are careful, deliberate. No stumbling, no rushing. They won't see me fall apart. Behind me, I hear Mom's uncertain voice, soft and wavering. "Cassidy?" I don't turn. From the corner of my eye, I see Dad's silhouette appear behind them. He doesn't move toward me. He doesn't call out. He simply watches from the safety of the doorway. his gaze shifting away the moment I glance back. Gifts feel heavier as I lift them into my trunk. Heavier than any burden I've carried before. Each one chosen with such love and hope. Even the presents for my niece and nephew, wrapped in the colorful paper they picked when they last visited my condo. Now they feel like stones in my arms, mocking me. I close the trunk with a hollow thud. The contrast slices through me, my arms full of thoughtfulness, their hands empty yet still demanding. If I walk away now, I might lose them forever. Every holiday, every tradition, every memory tied to this house might vanish in this single night. But if I stay, I will keep paying for love that isn't real, for affection measured only in what I can provide. Sliding into the driver's seat, I catch one last glimpse of them in the doorway. Mum's hand hovers in the air, unsure if it's a wave or a plea. Dad's eyes focus on something far beyond me. Damon, on the other hand, looks satisfied, shoulders easing as if he's all ready. I start the car, the Christmas lights of my childhood home shrinking in the rearview mirror as I drive away. 5 minutes later, I pull to the side of the road, unable to keep going. The warmth of the running engine surrounds me, but it does nothing to thaw the ache inside. The wrapped boxes in my trunk taunt me, whispering of loyalty and love that were never truly returned. My phone screen glows faintly, displaying the spreadsheet I created last month for tax purposes. The numbers blur as tears sting my eyes over $11,000 in mortgage payments for Damon and Maribel last year alone. Hundreds each month for Sophia's piano lessons. Thousands spent on summer camps, baseball for Ethan, science camp for Sophia. My sacrifices stacked neatly in rows and columns, yet somehow never enough. I think of my cancelled trip to the Oregon coast, the one escape I had planned for myself, gone in an instant when Damon called. I think of the hospital bills he swore would come, bills that never reached me. Where did that money go? My stomach twists. This isn't about tonight. This isn't about one Christmas dinner. This is about years of being drained dry. Years of being the dependable one, the problem solver, the wallet. I wipe my eyes, slam the engine off, and step out into the cold once more. The gravel crunches under my boots as I walk back to the house. This time, I don't bother knocking. I push the door open. Inside, it feels like a stage performance. Damon sprawls on the couch, scrolling his phone. Mum and Dad linger awkwardly in the kitchen doorway, glasses of wine in hand. Their heads snap toward me at once, shock painted across their faces. What? No lock on the door for the uninvited. My voice sounds stronger than my chest feels. Cassidy, honey, we thought you'd gone home. Mum stammers, her hand fluttering nervously at her throat. Why would you think that? Because you told me to leave. My eyes lock on Damon, who doesn't even stand. Don't be dramatic, he mutters, barely glancing up. Nobody told you to leave. The smell of turkey and cranberry sauce fills the air, twisting my stomach. I picture them about to sit down, using the good china I helped unwrap as a child. Someone with your fancy job doesn't need family like we do, Mum says, setting down her wine glass. You've been slacking off this year, Damon adds, finally looking at me. We all noticed. Next to him, Maribel shifts uneasily, her eyes glued to her lap, avoiding mine. Families help each other, Dad mumbles, his voice low. The words hang in the air like a demand. Families help each other financially, that's what he really means. So because I bought a place to live for myself, after years of helping all of you, I'm not family anymore. Nobody's saying that, Mom interrupts quickly. You literally said it on the porch 30 minutes ago. I fire back. Damon finally sets his phone down, moving slowly, deliberately. We're just worried about Mom and Dad. With taxes rising, they might have to sell this house, the one they've lived in for 40 years. The threat slices through me, carefully delivered, perfectly timed. That's not what I meant, Mom says. But her voice lacks strength. They're not getting younger, Damon presses. Would be a shame if they had to face old age alone. The truth crashes over me. This isn't about distance, or my absence at dinners, or even tonight. It's about money. It has always been about money. I look at the photos lining the walls, my smile in each one. My eager face, the dutiful daughter who always gave. The sister who always paid. Mom steps forward, reaching for my hand. We just miss how things used to be when you were more involved. Involved with my wallet, you mean? The words slip out sharper than I intended, but I let them hang. That's unfair, Dad mutters. Is it? I ask. Damon, when was the last time you called me just to talk, not to ask for money? His silence is louder than anything. Mum, when was the last time you invited me over when you didn't need help with bills or work around the house? Her eyes dart away, blinking quickly. I nod slowly. I see. My voice no longer shakes. So I'm family when you need something, but not family enough for Christmas dinner. You're twisting everything, Damon snaps, finally standing. After everything we've done for you. What exactly have you done for me? I cut in. Silence answers. Straightening my shoulders, I inhale deeply. If I'm not family enough to sit at this table, then I'm not family enough to pay your bills. The silence that follows feels heavier than the winter night outside. Mom's face crumples. Dad stares at the floor. Damon's eyes darken, sharp with anger. As I turn to leave. A question burns inside me. Am I being too harsh? Should I still help a little, just enough to ease their burdens while keeping my boundaries? Or is the only way to end this cycle a clean break? What do you do when the very people who should love you without conditions only value what you can give them? I close the door behind me without waiting for an answer. They've already given me theirs. I wake to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar curtains, my own. Christmas morning in my condo feels wrong, the silence pressing against my ears like cotton. The perfectly decorated tree looms in the corner, a collection of wrapped presents beneath it with nowhere to go. My phone buzzes. Another text from Aunt Carol. Cassidy, why are you punishing your parents this way? Family should be together at Christmas. I stare at the message, my throat tightening. This makes 12 concerned relatives in 2 days. The family text chain Damon created deliberately excluding me has been busy. According to my cousin Jennifer, I've abandoned the family during the holidays because success has changed me. Setting the phone face down, I walk to the kitchen where I've spread my gifts across the counter. The antique fishing lure for Dad catches the morning light. Mom's hand-painted ornament sits in its velvet box. The gaming headset for Damon. Books, toys, and clothes for the kids. Evidence of months of thoughtful planning, now useless. My neighbor's Christmas music filters through the wall. The cheerful melody feels like sandpaper against my raw nerves. The doorbell rings. A holiday card waits in my mailbox, my niece's handwriting. Immediately recognizable. Inside, alongside crayon drawings of Christmas trees. I miss you, Aunt Cassidy. Why won't you come see us? Something shatters inside me. I sink to the floor, card clutched to my chest, finally allowing the tears I've been holding back for days. Night after night, I wake at 3 a.m., replaying the scene. At my parents' door. Was I really distant? Self-centered? I flip through mental calendars, counting the weekends spent helping with household projects, their vacation days sacrificed for family emergencies, the extra projects I took on to cover Damon's Finchel crises. You've been distant, self-centered with your new life, Mum had said on the porch. But last spring, when Damon called about his son's medical bills, I cancelled a weekend in Vancouver to take on a rush project. When their washing machine flooded the basement in August, I drove down immediately and paid for repairs. When property taxes came due in October, I handled everything. My spreadsheet grows longer each day as I document years of financial assistance, column after column of dates, amounts, and purposes. The mortgage payments when Damon was between jobs, summer camps for the kids, piano lessons, emergency dental, work. The list stretches back 7 years, totaling over $35,000. The morning after Christmas, Rachel from work calls. My sister's coming to town New Year's Eve. Thought you might want to join us for dinner. I'm fine, really, I insist. The lie bitter on my tongue. I know you are, but nobody should spend the holidays alone. Her kindness nearly undoes me again. Thanks. I might take you up on that. Tuesday brings another unwelcome surprise. My bank manager calls. Miss Hartley, I wanted to alert you that someone attempted to access your accounts yesterday, claiming to be an authorized family member. My stomach drops. Was it my brother? I can't disclose that, but I wanted you to know we denied access. You might want to review your security settings. Later, I learned from my old high school friend who works at the bank that Damon has been spreading rumors about my mental health issues to explain why I'm withholding help from the family. The betrayal feels physical, like fingers squeezing my lungs. I add another column to my spreadsheet. Consequences. 3 days after Christmas, my phone lights up with a text from Maribel. I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't agree with it. The kids miss you terribly. The first genuine connection I've felt in weeks brings tears to my eyes. I respond immediately. I miss them too. This isn't about them. I know, she writes back. It never was. The banging on my door Sunday morning startles me from sleep. Through the peephole, Damon's distorted face glares back. Against my better judgment, I open the door. He storms past me into the living room. What the hell do you think you're doing? I was sleeping. It's 7:30 on a Sunday. Stop playing innocent. You're turning the family against each other. I cross my arms. How exactly am I doing that for my condo? Alone, with no contact. Maribel's acting weird. Mom's asking questions about money. After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us. Bye. Abandoning family? F. The accusation hangs between us. Something shifts inside me. A quiet click, like a lock releasing. What exactly have you done for me, Damon? Name one thing. His face flushes. We're your family. We've always been there for you. When? When have you been there for me? That's not. No. I really want to know. Because I can list hundreds of times I've been there for you. Thousands of dollars. Countless hours. You think you're so perfect. I think you should leave now, I say. My voice steadier than I expected. And please don't come back. His eyes widen. I've never spoken to him this way before. He steps toward me, but I don't flinch. You'll regret this, he warns. When Mom and Dad need help, don't expect me to pick up your slack. I hold the door open, my hands surprisingly steady. Goodbye, Damon. After he leaves, my neighbor Tom knocks softly. Everything okay? I heard shouting. When I explain what happened, he offers to help install a security camera that afternoon, just in case he comes back. These wireless ones are easy to set up. The simple act of kindness highlights what I've been missing: people who give without expecting payment. Rachel's New Year's dinner feels like stepping into another world, one where conversation flows without tension, where laughter comes easily, where no one tallies the cost of every interaction. You seem different tonight, Rachel says as we wash dishes afterward, more relaxed. I made some decisions, I tell her, about what I'm willing to accept from people. The next morning, I change my phone number, creating a clean break while maintaining one private line of communication with Maribel. I make an appointment with my financial advisor to restructure my savings toward my own future, not family emergencies. As January begins, my phone rings with an unknown number. I almost ignore it, but something makes me answer. Cassidy Hartley. This is Alan Prescott. I'm Maribel's lawyer. She asked me to contact you. I arrive at Hemlock Coffee 15 minutes early, clutching a leather portfolio containing months of bank statements, transaction records, and a spreadsheet tracking every dollar I've given my family. The cafe sits tucked between a used bookstore and a florist, far from my usual haunts where Damon might spot me. Cassidy? A man in his 50s approaches my corner table. Hand extended. Alan Prescott. Thank you for meeting me. His handshake is firm, his eyes kind but evaluating. I slide the portfolio across the table before he's fully settled. Every payment I've made to help Damon and Maribel. Mortgage assistance, medical bills, summer camps, piano lessons, dates, amounts, and what each was supposedly for. My voice remains steady, professional. $11,437 in the past 14 months alone. Alan opens the portfolio, scanning the meticulous records I've kept since Christmas. Very thorough. I'm a visual designer. Details matter. I wrap my hands around my coffee mug, seeking warmth. What did Maribel discover? Alan removes his glasses, pinching the bridge of his nose. Damon has maintained a separate checking account for years. Maribel found statements while searching for tax documents. He places a folder beside mine. With your permission, she wanted me to share these with you. Inside are bank statements for an account I've never seen. My name appears repeatedly in the deposit column. He diverted the money, I whisper, the floor seeming to tilt beneath me. Not all of it. Alan clarifies, pointing to specific transactions. The mortgage payments went through, but that emergency route, canal you covered? Hotel charges that same weekend. The children's summer camp tuition? Half went to online gambling sites. My throat tightens as I trace my finger down the list of transactions. The money I sent for Ella's piano recital dress. Louis Vuitton purchase, same day. The room goes silent as I process this betrayal within. The betrayal not just using as their personal ATM, but lying about where the money went. Maribel wanted you to know she had no idea. Alan continues gently. She's filing for legal separation. Her priority now is protecting herself and the children. I nod, unable to speak for a moment. Is she safe? She is, and she's grateful for your past support, even if it didn't always reach its intended purpose. 3 days later, my phone rings during a client call. The bank's fraud department. Ms. Hartley, someone attempted to access your accounts, claiming to be an authorized family member. We've blocked the attempt, but wanted to verify you haven't granted access to anyone recently. My stomach lurches. Who was it? Damon Hartley. He insisted you'd authorized him years ago. After completing the fraud report, I sit at my kitchen counter, hands trembling with rage rather than fear. Damon didn't just reject me from our family Christmas. He's actively trying to steal from me now. The next morning, I walk into First State Bank, shoulders back, spine straight. I'd like to file a formal complaint regarding attempted account fraud. I tell the manager, sliding the paperwork across her desk, and I need to verify my accounts have enhanced security protocols. Her eyes widen slightly as she reviews the details. Of course, Ms. Hartley, we take these matters very seriously. She hesitates, Your brother has several accounts with us as well. I'm aware. I say simply. By the time I leave, a formal investigation has begun. The fraud report will create a permanent record of Damon's actions, consequences he never expected to face. When Alan asked if I wanted to pursue legal action against Damon for misusing funds I provided, I hesitated. Would seeking justice through the courts bring closure? Or would supporting Maribel and the children in their fresh start be the better path forward? 2 weeks later, Alan calls. I've documented everything without charging fees. This pattern of financial abuse is clear enough that you have options if you want to pursue them. Thank you, I say, genuinely moved by his support. Has Maribel shared anything else? She's provided copies of transfers showing exactly where your money went. His voice softens. She feels terrible about what happened at Christmas. That evening, Rachel calls. The cabin's yours whenever you need it, she offers after I explain the situation. Totally private. No way for Damon to know you're meeting Maribel there. I'm struck by the generosity of these connections. People helping without expecting anything. In return, the opposite of my family's transactional love. When Maribel and I finally meet at Rachel's cabin, we talk for hours. We form an unexpected alliance. Our shared goal simple but powerful, protecting her children from the pattern of manipulation that's defined our family for years. The next afternoon, my phone rings with my parents' number for the first time since Christmas. My mother's voice sounds smaller, less certain. Cassidy, honey, we miss you. Do you? I ask, keeping my tone neutral. Family should stick together through difficult times, she continues. The familiar guilt trip falling flat. Like Christmas? I ask. A pause. Damon explained you refused to help with some essential bills. We were hurt. That's interesting, I say, my voice steady, because I know about Damon's separate accounts now. The ones where my help actually went. The silence on the other end stretches long enough that I check if the cal has dropped. Finally, my father speaks. What separate accounts? A week later, the doorbell rings at exactly 6, startling me from my laptop where I've been reviewing spreadsheets all day. Through the peephole, I see 3 familiar figures, Mum, Dad, and Damon, standing in the hallway. Outside my condo, Mum cradles a casserole dish while Dad awkwardly juggles a small gift bag. Damon's empty hands are shoved deep in his pockets. I consider not answering, but curiosity wins. What desperate play is this? Surprise. Mum says when I open the door, her smile stretched too wide. We brought dinner. Dad steps forward, rehearsed sincerity painting his features. Family should stick together through thick and thin. That's what your grandfather always said. I step aside to let them in, noting how they immediately claim my space. Mom heading straight to the kitchen, Dad settling into my reading chair, Damon prowling the perimeter of my living room, eyes assessing everything. We miss you, sweetheart. Mom calls from the kitchen where she's already opening cabinets. The family hasn't been the same without you. We depend on each other, Dad adds, nodding solemnly. Always have. I stand with my arms crossed, watching this performance unfold. What's this really about? Damon stops his circling and faces me. I lost my job last week. There it is. The company's downsizing, he continues, voice dropping to what he probably thinks sounds humble. I need help getting through this rough patch. Again, he attempts a self-deprecating laugh that falls flat in the stillness of my living room. Mom jumps in. It's temporary, just until he gets back on his feet. And Maribel isn't helping matters, Dad adds. Damon's face darkens. She's been acting crazy, saying things that aren't true, making up stories about money and where it goes. He takes a step toward me. You know how she gets, always dramatizing everything. She's unstable, Mom whispers, as though Maribel might somehow hear her from states away. Not thinking clearly. I walk to my desk without responding and pull out a leather portfolio. For a moment, they all freeze. Hopeful expressions flickering across their faces as they anticipate your checkbook. I've been expecting this visit, I say, opening the portfolio. On my coffee table, so I prepared something for you. I spread out a series of printed sheets, my meticulous documentation of every dollar provided over the years. Names, dates, amounts, and purposes. All color-coded and organized chronologically. $35,472, I say, tapping the bottom figure. That's how much I've given this family in the past 3 years alone. Their faces remain blank, uncomprehending. And this, I continue, pulling out bank statements Maribel shared, shows hotel charges in Portland on Desailly, claim to be at business conferences in Seattle. I place them beside my spreadsheet. Interesting timing, especially since those charges align perfectly with money transfers I made for your mortgage. Dad stares at his shoes. Mom clutches the edge of her cardigan. Damon's face flushes deep crimson. Where's Maribel? Cut her, Ash, he demands, voice rising. What have you been telling her? I've told her nothing but truth. I answer calmly. I've helped her secure an apartment in another state. She and the kids left yesterday. Mom gasps. Dad's head snaps up. You had no right, Damon hisses. I had every right to help them start over. And I've established education funds for the children that you cannot access. My financial support will go directly to them now, not through you. I walk to my bookshelf where family photos once dominated the display. Now they showcase travel souvenirs, art from my students, and snapshots with friends who value me beyond my wallet. The transformation isn't lost on my parents, who exchange uneasy glances. From my desk drawer, I withdraw an envelope and hand it to my father. This is a letter stating I'll continue covering your property taxes directly, but will provide no further financial support to Damon. Damon lunges for the letter, but Dad pulls it away, scanning the contents with widening eyes. You can't do this. Damon sputters, rage giving way to panic. I'll pay back everything, I swear. Just help one more time. How can you do this to your brother? Mum cries. To your family. I feel something shift inside me. Not anger breaking free, but rather clarity solidifying into certainty. The real question is, how could you do this to me? For years I've been your ATM, not your daughter. Their silence confirms everything. I walk to my front door and hold it open. I think our Christmas tradition of me not being welcome works both ways now. Mom starts toward me, but Dad catches her elbow, shaking his head slightly. Damon remains rooted in place, his face cycling through rage, disbelief, and finally, desperation. As they shuffle toward the door, I reach behind my entry table and withdraw a small wrapped package. The last gift I bought before Christmas. I hand it to Damon. For you. His fingers tremble slightly as he tears away the paper, revealing a framed photograph of Fist children laughing on a playground. Attached to the glass is a small handwritten note. They deserve better. Be better. He stares at it, mouth working soundlessly, before Dad guides him through the doorway. After they leave, I stand alone in my quiet condo, wondering if Damon realizes the legal trouble awaiting him. The loan applications where he falsified information using my name as guarantor without my knowledge are already under review. My phone buzzes with a text. It's from Maribel, a photo of the children exploring their new apartment, faces bright with excitement. The caption reads simply, "Thank you for helping us start over." I save the image, finally understanding the difference between being used and being needed. 3 months have passed since that frigid December evening. My condo no longer feels like just a place I sleep between, helping everyone else. I've transformed the second bedroom into a proper home office with dual monitors and an ergonomic chair that supports my back during long design sessions. My business cards newly printed read Cassidy Hartley Design Studio instead of just my name. The wall calendar above my desk is color-coded with boundaries I never dared establish before: green blocks for client work, blue for personal time, yellow for my volunteer work teaching graphic design at the youth center downtown. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I help teenagers discover how art can become a career. Their thank you notes form a collage on my bulletin board, each one reminding me that generosity works best with clear parameters. "You have a real talent for this," said Jamal last week, a 16-year-old whose logo design showed remarkable promise. "Nobody ever showed me I could make money doing what I love." I think of those words when my mother calls on a Wednesday evening as I'm preparing dinner. "Cassidy, thank God you answered," she says, her voice wavering. The upstairs bathroom pipe burst, water everywhere. "Your father tried fixing it himself, but now it's worse." The familiar dance begins her need, my response. "But something's different now." "That sounds stressful," I say, keeping my tone even. "I know a reliable plumber in your area. I can call him right now and arrange payment directly." Silence hangs between us. I can almost see her mouth opening and closing. "But wouldn't it be easier to just send the money?" She finally asks. "No, Mom. I'm happy to help, but this way works better for me." Another long pause. "I suppose that would be fine," she concedes, the surprise evident in her voice. When we hang up, there's no knot in my stomach, no racing heart. Just the quiet certainty that I've done exactly what I needed to do. Friday evening, I host a small dinner. Rachel arrives first with a bottle of wine, followed by Tom from next door and 2 women from my volunteer program. The conversation flows easily around my dining table. No eggshells to tread on, no unspoken expectations hovering in the air. Rachel raises her glass midway through the meal. "To found family," she says. "People who choose to be in your life and support you without conditions." We clink glasses, and she leans closer. "You know what I've noticed? You shine brighter now that you've stopped dimming your light for others." I feel the truth of her words settle into my bones. Later that week, I confirm my summer plans to visit Maribel and the children in their new home 3 states away. The education trust I established for my niece and nephew is finally complete. A structure that ensures the money goes directly to their schooling, regardless of Damon's financial situation. Our monthly video calls have become something I look forward to. Lily shows me her science projects, and Noah performs little songs he's learned in kindergarten. Without Damon looming in the background, their voices carry a lightness I hadn't noticed before. Tonight, I open the spreadsheet I've maintained for years. Family financial support stares back at me from the title bar. I add one final entry, the plumber's bill, then save the file under a new name. Lessons learned. As I box up the Christmas gifts I'd never given my family, saving only those for my niece and nephew. I wonder, is there a point where maintaining contact with toxic family members becomes self-destruction? Or is there always value in leaving the door open just a crack? What would you have done in my shoes?